This is Josh. Today we're going to talk about SQL injection. I know this is almost 10, 15 years old at this point, but it's still happening, one of the top vulnerabilities. So how do you detect it? How do you block it using Cato? So I was going through Bleeping Computer today, and there was a CISA and FBI release that said, hey, SQL injection is on the rise. There's ransomware groups using it, and to make sure you're protecting yourself. So some of the things that this article talks about is, what SQL injection is. It's going to inject maliciously crafted SQL queries. That's going to be used to manipulate, get data, gain access into systems, and get a foothold. What you're going to typically want to do is you want to sanitize those inputs when they go inside of your web server, talking to your database server, using a web application firewall, sanitizing those input validation to make sure that you can't just put any SQL statement in there to gain access to the data or land and expand using that SQL injection. So it's pretty wild that this is still a thing. And even May 2023, there was a MoveIt transfer that happened, with a file sharing service that was because of a SQL injection vulnerability. So this stuff is still absolutely out there. It's still being developed with SQL injections, some of these products. And so it's something you need to be aware of, protect yourself from, and then detect and block that. So let's move over to Cato and let's see what you can do in Cato. So first and foremost, I just did a quick SQL injection using, a vulnerable web server, say, hey, unsanitized input, it's going to give me back information that it shouldn't. All right. So that's what I did. And then boom, possible SQL injection execution. Great. So we're detecting it immediately within Cato. That's huge. So right here, I can go and I can just click view events. Out of the millions of events that Cato has, it's going to bring me into just those SQL injection events. So what do we have in here? First and foremost, you can see action monitor. I've chose to monitor these because of Security Lab. In your environment, you might want to say, hey, let's block these events if it's a SQL injection attempt or this type of attack, a web application attack. So this allows you to block it immediately. So if you have an old software legacy system, something that hasn't been patched that's vulnerable to SQL injection, Cato can block that for you. We can use TLS decryption to inspect that, and then we can block that SQL injection attempt so that it doesn't get to the point to where you're accessing all your database information and proprietary information is leaving your business. So what's interesting here is you can get some details about it. So you can go back to the database engineers, the DevOps team to say, hey guys, this SQL injection attempt, was successful, or there's someone trying to scrape, our databases. Here's the URL that was being used. You can actually see what I typed in here, and we're just going to pin that up here right from you. And this is the user it's coming from. So we have all this great information right inside the event. You go right to the security threat dashboard, SQL injection, and in the event, you see all those individual details. All right. Thanks, guys. Hope this was helpful.